Good morning. It's Sunday, August 12th. I got up today and the session 4 video is only about halfway done exporting after close to 10 hours. And it may speed up. It may not take another full 10 hours. Or it may, I'm not sure. But that seemed weird to me. It's like most of the session videos have generally taken, like, 8 or 9 hours, something around there. But I was like, but last weekend I exported the previous session, and it seemed to do the same thing. It seemed to take ridiculously long as well. And so I was trying to think, what's going on? Is the computer slowing down? And I don't think it is. I have an extra layer. I have the lower thirds with all of the characters' stat information, basically a shorthand version of character sheets scrolling by. And while that is happening, there's basically an extra full layer for the majority of the video, which basically means it's rendering out more or less twice as much. I mean, most of that is empty space and there's nothing to go there, but the computer still has to check it and do that, so that's probably what's slowing it down. Which means I should probably remember to do these mostly on nights before weekdays, where I'll be actually going to work for 8 hours following sleep. But for now, oh well. I'm up and my stomach's kind of I'm hungry. And I'm like, I could go get real food, but I'll probably, after church, be going out with family. Most likely. Who knows? So I'm thinking, you know what I didn't get yet this weekend? Donuts. Let's go get some donuts. So, headed into Paul's. I'm gonna grab some donuts. Seems like a nice morning. Smells so good even just walking in. And there we go. Got some delicious looking donuts. Gonna eat these and then, of course, head out to church from here. But probably still gonna make it on time today. Yep, made it on time. So weird to be walking in at the same time as I see other people walking in.
What a beautiful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a beautiful name it is. The name of Jesus. You're altogether lovely, altogether worthy, altogether wonderful to me.
I love the presence of God, and I love the worship. I mean, I love it. The reality is, what I do with the presence outside the walls. That's what puts the demons to flight.
Good.
That's where, thank you, that's where the rubber meets the road, is out there.
And I just got out of church, which was wonderful. Had a great time there. But leaving, my folks, mom wasn't there. And she said she probably wouldn't be. Ethan and Avery stayed the night last night. A lot of work for her. Sounds like her plan was just to, stay home with them. I haven't been able to get a hold of her. I was like, are we going out to eat? So I guess not. Because she didn't answer her phone. She didn't respond to a text. So she's ignoring me. Fine, doesn't hurt my feelings at all. Just being ignored and whatnot. Oh well. I've been wanting to go see Christopher Robin. And with the whole mess that MoviePass has been going through, actually getting to go see movies with it has been a bit of a challenge. In general, movies are not available in the app to see. They're not like showing up in the app and saying this isn't available. They're just not there, and if you talk to customer support, they say, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, sure, the movie theater website says there's a movie there, but how do we know that's really the case?
Main Street, then turn right onto the I-70 West ramp.
They basically just lie to you and play dumb because they're trying to keep their service alive long enough to change the way that the rules in the system are working. So hopefully, since the those are now being pushed out as people renew. Hopefully that will change and be fixed by this time next month. But I still want to go see a movie that's out now. Now, there are e-ticketing theaters. Those theaters let you reserve like in the app, and I've never done it because it's like the closest one is like 40 minutes from my house, but I'm already more than halfway there from church. So I'm gonna go out to one of those and see if I can make that work. Hopefully, I mean, they say like those ones you can go see movies at. Hopefully that works. Wish me luck. Alright, so I'm here at this B&B Theaters Winceville Tower 12, which is a theater chain that I have never heard of in my life, other than the fact that it's one of the e-ticket theaters showing up here on the app. I would never know of it. It's kind of out of the way. But let's see if I can actually go see my movie here. I'm gonna try and get in and see Christopher Robin. And I just got out of the movie. I should say, since I mentioned I'd never heard of the chain and never been to this theater before, it was actually very nice. And while I'm not a huge fan of the distance that I have to travel to get out here, I think in the long run I'd probably be, ultimately if it just works out where things settle down with the pass and this is where I end up going to see movies, it's a little inconvenient, but it's not so bad. It was actually a very nice theater inside. Now, the movie was fantabulous. 4 out of 5, I'd give it. And of course, moving forward, things will get kind of spoilery. So if you haven't seen Christopher Robin and intend on doing so, perhaps, take a step back, because this will be spoiling it. The movie began with a little bit of just childhood Christopher Robin and that, but it very much in like sort of a montage kind of way, and utilizing storybook drawings and such, just sort of evoking that imagery and thought from Winnie the Pooh as I remember it as a child. And then moving beyond that, we get introduced to Ewan McGregor as Christopher Robin. I love him as an actor, so that was exciting to me that he was playing that role. And you meet sort of his family and his work and just sort of this man that grew up, that went off to war, had a family to support, and has just let work take hold of him so much that that's what he does. He doesn't spend time with his family. He just has to focus on work to give them the life that he thinks they want. They don't. They want him. Of course, it's a story we've all heard, but it's still a important and cherished story. They introduce a few little quirky jokes. His family goes off to the country, the same country house where he grew up. Well, they're now living in London. But he can't go. He has to stay for work. And Pooh wakes up one morning to find that all his friends are gone. And so after many times staring at the door where Christopher Robin used to come into the 100-acre wood, Pooh decides, for the first time ever, to venture out of that door. And it brings him to the middle of London, right near Christopher Robin's current house. Through a little hijinks, Pooh and Christopher Robin are reunited. And Christopher Robin thinks he's gone absolutely crazy, because of course he does. Why wouldn't he? The stress from work is clearly has him cracked. The hilarity of Pooh destroying things in his home occurs, and he decides, alright, he's supposed to be here working, but he can't concentrate with this. He has to get Pooh home. So he goes out to the country home where his family is. But he tries to stay hidden and just get Pooh into the tree there that leads into the 100-acre wood and be gone with it. But he finds himself unable just to leave Pooh to be sad, going in to help Pooh find his friends. And he does. And he plays again. Because the only way he can convince the rest of them that he is him is to defeat the Heffalump. And it is such a powerful moment when this man that you have seen so far in this movie, like, he can't even really play and be childish with his daughter, Madeline. He has this strict work mindset, and all of a sudden, he has to convince Owl, Rabbit, Eeyore, Tigger, Kanga, and Roo. He has to convince them that he is Christopher Robin so that he can have them help him now find Pooh, who's gotten himself lost, and reunite everyone so that he'd feel okay to finally leave. And they're all afraid of this Heffalump. There's no such thing as Heffalumps. But they don't believe it because Christopher Robin knows there is, and he would know how to defeat it. So he walks off and plays. And it's just such a fantastic moment watching this character play. They are reunited, and Christopher finds himself staying a little too long. He falls asleep and awakes the next morning to realize he's supposed to be at work. He has to get back to London. Now, he rushes off. But Tigger was nice enough to help him pack his briefcase. All the important paperwork, the presentation he needs for work. Christopher doesn't check it. He takes his stuff and he goes. It's not until Madeline, upset that she's now seen her father sneaking through the area, he bothered to come all the way out to, I think it was Sussex, but he didn't stay to spend time with him. She just wants time with her father, and she's panicked because she's going to be sent to boarding school. Well, I mean, it's where he went as a child. It's clearly what's best, isn't it? But she doesn't want to go. She wants time with her father, and she never gets it anyways. Now she's going to be sent away, and she'll never get to spend time with him. So she plays outside near the wood when she hears some voices, and we discover that Pooh, along with Eeyore, Piglet, and Tigger, have all wandered out of the 100-acre wood and are now in her backyard because they found out that Tigger hadn't sent the papers. And Christopher Robin had warned Pooh that those papers were very important. If he didn't have them, he would be eaten by a woozle for breakfast. Now we get the moment where Madeline, Christopher's daughter, gets to meet the childhood friends of her father. She also is pretty sure she's gone crazy, but discovers what's going on and decides that if she can get those papers to him, he might be so happy that he would let her stay, that he might not send her away. And so she runs away to make her own way back to London to deliver the papers to her father. After she's left, her mother finds out and tries to chase her down all the way back to London because really her daughter has just ran away, and it's terrifying. There are many jokes throughout it, largely due to the fact that everyone who sees and hears these animals, these stuffed animals, talking and moving, everyone can see that. And that's not normal. They play a lot of jokes on how freaked out people are by that's a talking bear. Why is that teddy bear talking? Did that donkey just stare at me? In the end, Christopher Robin finds out his daughter's missing because his wife arrives at his work once he's figured out, like, he's in his meeting and finding out, I don't have my papers. But his wife arrives there trying to say, hey, our Madeline's gone. And so he sets off to look for her. He just leaves work because she's more important. And they find her shortly after tripping down some stairs and all of his papers but one flying off into the wind. All the work he'd done needing to give this presentation is all lost. But hope is not. For the one half a sheet of paper that was grabbed as everything was done was basically a chart of here's our customer base. And basically, through some words from his friends, he realizes to look at things in a different perspective. He flips it upside down. His work is selling suitcases. Let's not cater to the very rich. Let's give people paid time off so that they can afford to go on vacations and that they can buy suitcases. Wonderful. Brilliant. And it works. It's a happy ending. And it's a simple, simple story. But it has the characters that I love from my childhood. And it's kind of interesting to see them, because Tigger was always my favorite as a kid. He was so full of energy and fun. He's not now. I mean, I love him. He's fantastic. But I love Eeyore. I see Eeyore and how sad he is, and just sort of okay with being sad he is. And I want him to be happy. I want to give him a hug and make him happy. I see Pooh, an idiot. But all he does is love and care. And I have such a heart for him. Or Piglet. He is scared of so much. He is just crippled by fear, and I can relate to that. You just want to help him. Whereas I look at it and Tigger's just causing more mess. But they're all fantastic. It's fantastic childhood characters. The story is simple. The reason I love the movie is the characters. The characters were fantastic. And a little bit the music. There'd be little bits where you'd hear bits of the songs, and it would just bring back so much childhood. Or where you'd see live action, like, sets of Pooh's house, or the door into the 100-Acre Woods. And it's like, that is the cartoon that I watched as a kid brought to life. It was wonderful. It really was wonderful. I'm very glad I made the trip out here to come see this. It's really hot in this car. I've pretty much just described half the film. But I'm gonna head home, turn on the AC, and it gets loud. Still, it was a very good movie. Very glad I came and saw it. If you saw it, or even just have memories of Winnie the Pooh from a childhood, let me know. Comment below and such. Yeah, I'm headed out. And I hope I didn't give the impression that I no longer am a huge fan of Tigger. I mean, the wonderful thing about Tiggers is Tiggers are wonderful things. Their tops are made out of rubber. Their bottoms are made out of springs. I was thinking driving home, when I decided I'm gonna go see more movies, I can talk about movies. I'm like, I'm sure I'll get better at reviewing movies. I'm like, I just summarized what happened in that. That's probably the same thing I did, like, when I discussed Pirates of the Caribbean. The first movie I saw after starting vlogging. I'm no better than them. But I did really enjoy the movie. I honestly did. I may not be good at proper review, but the film was something I certainly enjoyed. And I'm very glad I went through the effort to go see it. And with what MoviePass has been putting me through, it was effort. Now I got some Taco Bell. I promise it's actually not all that much Taco Bell. I don't know why it's in 2 bags. It's less than I usually get. But I guess 2 items are kind of awkwardly shaped, so I'm guessing that's the reason. I did a little bit of editing, and then I laid down because I am very tired. I got nearly a full night's sleep last night, but I missed quite a bit of sleep the night before, and I don't think I got a full night's sleep the night before. I don't really know. I'm gonna try and lay down and see if I can actually get some rest. I mean, I'm gonna try and like get a video uploaded and do a few things like that are boring, but for the most part, I'm gonna try and get to bed at a good time. Hopefully be well rested for tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Join me as my journey continues. Bye. Yeah, maybe that's why I'm feeling tired, like something's wrong. Apparently I got a fever. Oh well, hopefully it goes away.